The basic set of files which are available in our OAF framework is either Java file or maybe Excel file, right? And of course, like within the server, when you are trying to move the files to the server, and when you are doing any of the Java kind of programming, we never move Java files. We never move Java files to server. Of course, like people still follow like the moving Java files to server and they compile there. But that's not at all a wrong thing. But generally, if you consider any of a Java programming with an application server, we never move any source code. Okay. But in our OAF now, like let's say, like now right now, like whenever you want to deploy, let us assume that if at all, if we want to deploy our pages to server, like our IBM pages, X6 IBM pages. So what is the thing you have to consider? So we have XML files like a pg.xml files, and we have a Java files here, and also in the server package we have a raw.mpl files, XML files, many things. But the only basic thing you have to consider is like we have XML files as well as Java files. Okay. So as I was telling you that we should not move the source code, so better we will move the class files. So we have to move the class files as well as XML files. But these XML files are available for the BC4J objects, right? And also our PG files, page OAF page files, OAF page files also. And this class files, it is available for all the LOS, Populous, and for all the view object I can say. For all the view object, for all the view objects, you have class files, and also AIM is also having a class files. Now, what is the thing you have to consider is like the basic difference here is like all the XML files as well as class files has to be moved to Java top. All the XML as well as class files has to be moved to Java type, and but only one particular pg.xml. These particular pg.xml files has to be moved to MDS layer. Only this only file which has to be moved to MDS layer. Remaining files simply can move to Java top. Okay. So what we do is first now, like as of now, first we'll try to deploy our XX total practice structure here. Our XX IBM dot Oracle dot Azure.fnd. What we'll move is we'll directly move this particular folder, XX IBM folder, into our Java tab. So let's open our WinSCP now. So in this one, if at all, if you have any confusion to finding out the Java tab, it's better that get it from the command prompt. Java tab. This is better because in most of the clients, what may happen is they have a single index box where they will deploy a number of servers. Like they have a number of servers in that. So find out your appropriate instance and deploy accordingly. In our case, this is our location. Go here. Okay. And if you observe here, if you want to see, like before deploying our own code, if you want to see any of the Oracle source code, if you want to see any of the Oracle seeded files, they are available in the Oracle directory, Oracle apps. Okay. And you'll have a folder for each particular module, FND, GL, PO, ONT, and PER for HRMS. So you'll have each and every folder for this one. So in our case, what we have to do is we have to move our folder to Java classes. So this is our Java top directory. Now in our case, what is our directory? It's a February OAF training, my classes. Yeah, this is our directory in our local JDR. So on this one, and so I'll just move XX IBM now. I'll just move XX IBM folder. That's it. Total folder to folder, I'll move it. And if you want to see what exactly is available in this one, you'll have a class files as well as XML files. You'll have class files as well as XML files. See here. You'll have all class files as well as XML files. And yeah, let's move it first. And now the next step is we have to move our pg.xml. We have to move our pg.xml to MDS layer, nothing but database. So this particular one we have to perform import here. We have to perform import for it. So the command which you have to follow is like this is a command, import command. This is a command which you have to follow for this. So, and in this one, what exactly it requires is it requires the total page part followed by your TNS entries. So in our case, let us see. So for this, okay. So let's assume that we'll deploy our student DML page. Okay, assume that we want to deploy our student DML page. Copy this and mention the file, total file name. Okay. And followed by total ENS entries, apps with apps user details. And at last, we have to mention the root directory, nothing but till my projects. Till my projects, you just mention that. Okay. Fine. So this is a command which you have to run from your desktop command prompt. So see, there are different ways of deploying. This is one of the way. We can discuss further different ways also. So in this one, you'll find set of commands which you generally come across, like JPX import for the purpose of performing substitution, and we have to perform import for the purpose of deploying our OAF page to the server. And there is another thing called xlib import or xlib extract. It is for the purpose of translation. For the purpose of translations. So now we'll just execute this command. So before execution this command, I also want to show you that when you deploy this particular page to MDS layer, how do you verify whether this page belongs to ours or not? Whether this page is deployed by us or not? So we can verify that also. So every page has to be available in our JDR table. So you see that first, where path underscore is equal to our page name. So now there is no record with this particular file name. Let us see this now. We'll perform this particular functionality now. Execute this command in our command prompt, in the command prompt. Paste it. Okay. So when imports is successful, it has to give import completed, as well as it also mentions what is your page path. It also mentions the page path. Okay. So in this case, our page path is this one. So this particular information you have to use it for registration of your page. Now, from the back end, now you can validate whether the page got deployed to the server or not, whether this is the path of it. The path plays an important role. This particular path plays an important role, because let us assume that if somebody also developing the same page with the same name, how do you know whose path it is? How do you know whose path it is? Whose file it is? So that is why this path names, we can validate that for path information also. So let's go to database first, and you can just see this. Can you see? It got just deployed now, 23rd February, and created by, everywhere created by, and last updated by, it is internal. It means that for all the custom pages, you'll have the information as created by as internal, for all the custom pages. And also, if you observe here, the path type is document. The path type is document, and this particular path underscore document ID is a primary key of your page. It's nothing but a key of your page, and it's a path owner document ID, nothing but is your owner of your, see, this particular page is having directory structure. This is the directory structure of this page, right? This is the directory structure. Now, for each particular path, you'll have a record here. For each particular path, you'll have a record here. Now, student DML page is having the path document as this one, and the path owner document ID as 95410. Nothing but it's the document ID of WebUI folder. So that way it goes on, and also can validate whether this particular page belongs to us or not by this. Like here, we can just mention JDR underscore MJS underscore get document. Okay. Just mention the document ID. So from this, you can simply validate whether this particular page path belongs to us or not, right? And apart from this, so here, like I was telling you, the page is deployed as a record by record fashion. It is not stored as XML file. And this particular content is stored in multiple tables. One is JDR paths, and the other is JDR components. For each JDR component is nothing but for each particular component of your page. It can be an item or a region, you'll have a record here. You'll have an item or a region, you'll have a record here. Components with doc ID and 954. So here, if you observe, it starts with the page layout region, right? The page, and then it starts with the page layout region, and after that, you'll have all the information. Like for each particular component, you'll have a information, as well as the property of each particular component will be stored in JDR attributes table. The property of each particular component will be stored in the JDR attributes table. and we'll just try. Yeah.
Is there a use knowing these tables and columns?
This is very much important.
Okay.
So during in your custom implementation, it doesn't make. I mean, it's not of that much use. But in the personalization or extension, you will use a lot of times. So there are times which I have used this particular table to find out what is the controller name. They have mentioned me like I was getting some exception in the CF page, and we have done some extension on that. I was just seeing the error only. I was just seeing the error, and they just mentioned the page. So I have to get a controller name because we don't have any proper documentation there. So I don't know what is the controller name to find out the error. So they have given the page name. So from there, they found out what is the controller name. So you'll have those kind of scenarios also.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm just coming to there only now. So now if you observe here, this is our path table. We'll have the page information. This particular table will have page information, and this particular one will have a either item or a region information. And this particular table will have the properties of item as well as region. I can say attributes or properties. Nothing but if you consider the page layout region, what are the basic properties we mentioned? AM name, controller name, region ID, with your title as well as the other one, right? Page title as well as window title. And we'll also observe the same thing now. Just observe this particular component. Now the page layout component sequence is 1 and level is 2. Okay. Now what I will do is attribute underscore component sequence. I think it's 1. Can you see? So this was the information which we mentioned on our main region, isn't it? This was information. This was the information which we mentioned on our page layout region. So from this we can find out what is the page, and from this what is it, we can also find out what is the region. Okay. So these are the major 3 tables: paths, components, as well as attributes, which are very much important. As of now, in the custom development, you will not find much useful, but in the personalization or extension, simply without this we can't work on the personalization.
Okay.
Yeah. And the next step, what exactly is we have deployed our files to server. Next step is registration of the page. Next step is registration of the page. So registration is a very simple procedure. Maybe if you are coming from the report background or maybe forms background, if it's an RDF report, what you do, you have a content executable, content program, and request. This is your procedure for the RDF report registration. And if it is a form, you will have a form, function, and main. And for the OAF page, it's just a simple AOL function as well as main. That's it. AOL function assigned to the main. This is what you have to do. Okay. So just go to the server now. Go to the server. Okay. So application and function. That's it. So here you can mention any of your valid function name. Student name. I just mention the same thing here. Nothing to change its place. Just go to the default properties, and on the properties you have to mention SSWA-JSP. You have to mention SSWA-JSP, and also you can observe one more thing here. One minute. Can you see external ADF application? If you want to register your ADF page, you have to use external ADF application. If you are registering ADF page, you have to use external ADF application. And maybe if you are running on a 12.2.4 version, you can find out the list of ADFs which are available. Maybe in our case also, 12.1.3 we don't have it, but starting from 12.2, you'll have some set of ADF pages which are there in the 12.2 server. Okay. So SSWA JSP function, and nothing to mention the form. So on the web HTML, we have to mention the page path with the OA.jsp information. So this is our page path. This is our page path, and what you have to mention, OA.jsp question mark page is equal to this one. So what is OA.jsp? Like as we discussed, this is a rendering engine. Now OA.jsp will retrieve this particular page from the MVS layer and it will get deployed. This will be shown, this will be rendered to the user. Right? No file extension here, no file extension. That's it. Okay. Now our page is registered, and the next step is we have to assign to the menu. So this is our page name. And maybe we can consider one of the responsibility as well, because we don't have any other custom responsibility created. So let's create a menu. This is our menu. You can also assign to the existing menu, but yes, just creating a new one. Okay. And now this is our responsibility. So assign to this new. Okay. So maybe we have to clear the cache. Your function needs to be clear cache. Sometimes it will work better when you clear the cache. Click on home. Yeah, it is not showing. Okay, but let's try from here. Responsibility. Fine. Got it. So now the page is running from the server, right? And you can also click on about this page.
Sridhar, every day the
Sorry, Ravi.
does the server bounce every day? Like if you do any modification?
No, server bounce. Yeah, server bounce is not required now because this is the first time we have moved our file.
But
So server bounce is not required. But let us assume that if you have changed any of your Java file, if there is any Java or XML file get changed, see if you pg.xml there is no requirement of bounce. But if it is your BC4J related XML, if any changes in the Java file or any BC4J XML file, you require bounce. And if it is just a pg.xml, no bounce is required. Okay. Any middle layer changes always require a bounce. Yeah, asking something?
But here like so this is the test system, right? This is maintaining, right? So is the bounce happens every day, or do we need to request someone to bounce the server?
So in our training instance, you are asking me?
Yeah.
A training instance generally, will not prefer allow the students to bounce because there are a lot number of people who will be working on it. So
okay.
So, but still,
but is there any scheduled?
There's no restriction. To say frankly, there is no restriction at all. You can directly bounce it. There is no restriction.
Okay.
There is no security things. Nothing is there. But preferable, maybe if you observe, a lot number of people will be working on it. So that is why we never prefer to bounce. But I can show you a bounce now. I can show you now. Maybe let me check out if users are there. 2 users are there. Now this is what happens. 2 users are there, right? So But anyway, let's just try. So for bouncing, what is the thing you have to do is, first of all, you have to go to a folder called admin scripts home. Generally, like it depends upon your environment. Like you may have a permissions or you may not have permissions, but whatever it is. So go to this particular folder, cd admin scripts. So you'll have all the scripts which are necessary for your server to get bounced. Okay, here all the middle tier servers, not only OAF server, all the middle tier server, report server, workflow server, Discover forms, everything, all the middle tier servers will be available here. Nothing but the scripts for them, the scripts to start as well as stop. So Oracle Process Manager, ODF, OPM and CTL. Just click on status first of all. It will show the list of servers here. OC40 server, which is for the purpose of our Oracle application framework, and other one is form server. There's a port server as well as HTTP server. Okay. So what you can do is just AD, OPM and CTL, stop all. This gives stop all. Okay, this will stop your server. Okay, maybe now. Let me find. See here, got it? It's gone now. Fine. And you can just check the status. Always try to check the status. Now it should show all as stopped or something. Maybe status. It is not even showing the status, right? That's the CTL status. So it's not showing. Anyways. Now start all. Okay. Start all. Let's check the status now. So make sure that all the things are alive. All the things are alive. As of now, only one is alive. Generally, there is one particular bug in this one. Generally, it should not happen. If you start out, it should start all the servers, but it is not happening in our case. So what I have to do is like I have to start each and every server manually. So AD, OAF, start each and every server manually. Generally, like AD, OPM, and CTL, that is enough. AD, OPM, and CTL, and that particular process is enough. Okay, now two servers are alive, and there is another server, OD, AD, OAF forms. This way, make sure that the only thing is you have to make sure that all the servers are alive, so nobody will get an issue. Now we check the status. One is down still. So AD OAF start. So generally this should not happen. Only one script should be enough. One script should be enough for the purpose of starting as well as stopping. So major script is AD, OPM, and CTL is the major script. AD, OPM, and CTL as well as AD, AP, CCTL. Okay. Now I think our server is alive. You can just check the status. AD, OPM, and CTL. All the things are alive, right? So this is the second one. And DBS, they will not prefer to bounce like every hour or something like that. They prefer only bouncing like maybe 2 times in a day or something like that. It all depends on the client. But in the during development environment, there is no limit. Generally, like hourly we have to bounce it. Let us assume that if you are working in a big project where 20 developers are working, so each and every half an hour some developer will change the code, right? So there should be some particular thing you have to maintain. Maybe every 1 hour you'll have a scheduled timings. So in that way you have to process. You have to follow with some scheduled intervals, and based on that you have to follow. Okay, so clear about the deployment as well as the list of tables. List of tables are very much important. These you will not. I mean, now you don't want. Yeah. Sorry. And if you want to extract.
One question.
Yeah, sure. Sure.
Are there any tables which are used to debug time errors? Are there any tables?
Tables as such for the OAF related you will not have it. Only for MDS purpose we have it. And remaining things, if at all, if you get any errors in the debug or something like that, one thing we have is diagnostics. Once you enable diagnostics, you can see the error on the page itself. There is one thing is there. Yeah, as far as I know, that is the only thing.
What is the question, Sridhar? I didn't get the question.
The question was like, is there any tables related for the purpose of debugging?
So what kind of debugging? Like it's like page errors in a dynamic or like?
Yeah. So when you say debugging, like maybe there are different ways of debugging. Like one thing is, let us assume that you have a standard page, and you want to know the functionality, or maybe let us assume that your page is on the instance, and you're getting some bug. So assume that you don't have any source code and you want to find out what is the error from the instance itself. So what is the best thing we have is like you have to enable the diagnostics. Click on diagnostics, and here we have an information called show log on screen. Click on show log on screen, and maybe you can go with the different levels. Click on statement or error, whatever it is, and that's it. So now what will happen is if you open the page, it will show all the information. Just see here. Even if you see the standard page, this is the standard page, right? Now all your standard code will have this information. All the standard code, what they do is they will have diagnostics. They will write the diagnostics. So it is preferred that we also need to, even our custom development also, we have to write the diagnostics. Because SOP statements, what are the SOP statements which we write? Will not be shown on the screen. They'll be copied into your server logs, your Apache server logs. At that place the server log, the SOP statements will be there. So, but as a developer, you will not have any access to Unix box, and you will not find out where is that particular log. It is very tough to go there. So it is preferable that you write your diagnostics, and then you can see the log information on the page itself. We'll discuss this one like once we get into our debugging techniques. There are around 3 or 4 kind of debugging techniques which you come across. Okay. Diagnostics, show log on screen, and then click on on, turn on. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this is the one. And one more thing I was trying to tell you is like now let us assume that if you want to know the XML content of the page. See, if it is a Java content, anyway, like you can have a decoders from the class files you can get the Java code. But if you want to know the XML content of your page. So for that also we have utilities. Like one utility is JDR print document. So you mentioned your page path. It can be standard path or it can be a custom page, any page. So DBMS output. Okay. So from here you can get your total XML content of your page. You can get total XML content of your page. Okay. And this is one place where you can get this is one of the way where you can extract your page content. But if it is a seeded page, if it is a seeded or a custom page, the following thing will work. This one will work for the seeded page or a custom page. But like as per Oracle functionality, like they also provide the seeded pg.xml files are available in the MDS folder also. In the MDS folder, for each and every top. In each and every top, you'll have MDS folder. In that, you can find out the list of pg.xmls of the particular related module. So it doesn't need to go to this place and you can if you need to copy DBMS output, nothing is required. Simply you can go to MDS folder of any appropriate top. Let's say third HRMS one, MDS folder, and you can find out the list of XML files here, list of XML files only. Right? So this is for only developer reference. This is only for developer reference. At runtime, these pages are never picked up. At runtime, these pages are never picked up. This is placed only for the purpose of developers. Maybe during your customization and those kind of scenarios, you have to work on this kind of files. Just to know what is the way, which controller they have used it, what is the attribute name, what is the ID of a particular column. For those purposes, you use it. Okay, clear? So this is another way where you can extract the XML file of your page, CV page. And yeah, so as far as the deployment is concerned, these are the information. This is the information. So now the next topic, what we want to discuss now is like we'll discuss about shared region concept. Shared region concept. Okay. So what is this shared region all about? So as of now we have been creating pages, right? As of now we have been creating pages and where we are running our content, all those stuff. But what is this page? What is this region is all about? So generally, like the region is nothing but it's an independent component which we created, and you can embed this particular region. You can embed this particular region in all the pages. Let us assume one requirement here. Let us assume that one requirement before starting. Let us assume that you are working on HRMS module, and where you have around 15 pages of tutorial. And as per the requirement, these 15 pages is having some header information which shows employee details. Nothing but like we have around 5 columns, right? Like employee name, employee ID, employee number, name, location, BGID. Just assume that these are the 5 columns which we want to show in the header region of the top region of each and every 15 pages. So what is the preferred thing? We never prefer to create the same component in all the pages and performing copy paste. And assume that there are chances this particular information may get changed. Nothing but sometimes people say no, I just need this 5 columns, but later they say that no, we require a few more columns also. We require email also, we require phone number also. When some kind of component which is available in all the pages, so there are chances that it may get changed frequently. There are chances. It could not be mandatory, but there are chances it may get changed. When you have this kind of requirement, so what is the preferred thing is you create this particular employee details region as an independent component and use it in all the pages. So whenever you have any change, you can just change only this particular employee details region. The other pages which are depending upon this component will get work automatically. There is no change required to them because it is referred dynamically. It is included dynamically at runtime, not in a static fashion. So whenever there is a change in the employee details, the other dependent pages on this particular region will simply reflect the new changes. Okay. So now what we do is we will design our employee details region and we'll use it in all our pages. So first of all, to get the employee details, we require a VIVO. So what we do is we'll write a simple VIVO for the purpose of extracting our employee information. Okay. So what is the data we want is, we want person ID, employee underscore number, full name. Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And we assume that we require only 5 columns. Now what I will do, I just create a VIVO. So what are the components which I will create now? The purpose of shared region is. So the purpose of shared region, I require the below components. One is a VIVO for the purpose of employee details. And of course, when you have a VIVO, you also require a name. First of all, when you have a page or a region, always name is required by default. We'll have a region now, not a page. We'll have a region as well as we'll have a control. So these are 4 things which we require now. First, we'll create a VIVO because data model is always the first thing. VIVO object, employee details, VIVO, read-only access, comments, and so here one more thing. So this is leaving all the employee details, right? But we doesn't require all the employee details. What we require is just a single employee details. So what I can do is where personalizing ID is equal to select employee ID underscore from method users where okay, so we can write like this. So which will give you the current user ID. Okay. So apps will get initialized. Multi or may not be initialized, but apps will get initialized by default. So click on next. Next. That's it. And finish. So go to the server. Enter the details below. Apply. Yep. So now the comes the main thing. So in the WebAI part, right click on the WebAI part, click on new. Web components. Now we have to click on region. This is new thing. You have to click on region. Okay. So here, select the region symbol as header because it's a single employment region, right? So first of all, we'll display header region. Under that, we'll create our components. So we want to create a region with a header style, and I'll say employee details region RN. RN for the region purpose. And statistics is WebUI, style is header. Okay, click on OK. Now, for this region, we require a controller. Right click on this region, click on set new controller. Why require controller? Because we want to execute the Vivo, right? We require a controller for that. Class name and the UI is a practice section, class name is on. Right? So in the employee details region, click on the employment details region and assign the AM here. Assign the AM. And now in this region, what I will do is we want to display the data, right? We have 5 columns. So simply we can create a region using wizard. We doesn't need to create manually. Simply we have set of regions which can be shown by using wizard. So new region using wizard, new region using wizard. Click on next. Select your AM, select Vivo, click on next. And this time we'll select a different region style. Rather than table, we'll discuss about different region styles also. So what I will do is we will go with default double column layout, default double column layout, which will show the content in a double column, anything but 2 columns. Double column each. Okay, and click on next. So there is nothing technically here. If you have a different layout styles, okay, if you have a different layout styles like a form, table, edge grid, there are a lot number of types which are available. Click on next, select the columns, click on next, and change it to message like text. Okay. And the next thing is we have to initialize our Vivo. Go to the aim IMPL, initialize the Vivo. And here one more thing. Instead of writing the code in the aim IMPL, we can also write the code in the Vivo IMPL also. Shall I show you or?
Sure, you can write in Vivo.
Yeah, we can also write in the Vivo IMPL. So now if you see here, double click on this one, just control click on this one. So now we are in the Vivo IMPL now. We are in the Vivo IMPL. Now what you can do, let us say you can write your new method, public void. This is a new method which I am writing here. So you can write all the stuff here, like anything. Now I just require only execute query, so I'll mention this now, execute query direct. So now this method we have to call from the aim IMPL. So what I will do, Vivo dot this method name. Vivo this method name, like this. So Vivo dot init emp Vivo. So now when you control click on this one, it will navigate to this place. Public void init emp Vivo. Here we are writing our execute query method. Okay, so this is particular one. This is a preferred method. Now, like what happens is, let us assume that you are working on a particular module, and where 5 developers are working, and you all have same aim. You all have same aim. So, like everyone will have their own set of Vivos, right? That's a common thing. So, what you do is you better write you in your Vivo IMPL, so it doesn't need to gamble with your code, isn't it? Write your code in the Vivo IMPL. That is preferred one. Got it all? Okay. So now this particular, now we have to call this particular one. So go to the process request. That's it. Yeah. Let's run the region now. Let's run the region. Right click on the region and click on run. Okay. So what it is giving? This is giving that there's a missing property for this one. It says there's a missing property. So what it is that? So when you want to test your region as an independent component, you have to enable a property called standalone property. Make the standalone property as true. Then after that you run the page, you run the region. Can you see? Got it? So this is our region. And also in the address bar, do you find any difference? In the address bar, do you find any difference? Can you see here? It is showing as region, not as a page. Got it? It is showing as a region. It is not showing as a page. Okay, and now
this is double column.
This is double column layout. It's a layout. We have different regions. It's a default double column layout, and we have different types of layout which are available. So, and in this one, if you see here, it's a double column, right? Let us say what I will do is I'll just copy paste this region, copy, Control C, and Control V. I want to just change the region style now. Just observe this. I'll say message component layout. There's a layout called message component layout, which is a preferred one. It's a very good one. Yeah, message component layout. So here you can mention, one of the good things for this particular component is you can mention the number of rows as well as width, number of rows as well as columns. Let us assume that we want to show 3 rows, or let us say we want to show only 2 rows, and we want to show 3 columns. In each row we want to show 3 columns, and you can also mention the width. Let us say 90%. You want to occupy the 90% of the width of the page. Okay. And now what I will do is I will create this particular message component layout region in another region. I think in header region. Because most of your this particular region may not have any header region, may not have any header functionality. Nothing but if you want to mention the header, label name for your region, you will not have any property for them. You will not have any property for them. So what is the best thing is always make your region as a part of header region. So because header region, now what I'm doing is I'm trying to move this particular region under the header region. So as a child. Now what I will do is for this region 1, I'll give a name. I'll say employee region, and for understanding I'll say message component layout and say layout. Okay. Just observe the difference and you'll understand easily. Run it. Okay. So can you see the message component layout region? So what is the purpose of this header region is, it can give you the blue color line, and you can also mention the layout, you can also mention the label name for your region. So that is why we require this header region always. That is why we require header region always, most of the times. So in this one, we can in the message component layout region, we can control the behavior of number of, yeah. Sorry?
I'm sorry, this is not related to this one. I just got a question like so in OAF pages, I think even Sharath has the same question. When you run a form, uh, submit buttons will be at the right side of the screen, right? So how do we move the like submit or cancel buttons right?
Uh, what you said, like buttons will be on the right hand.
So
Sorry.
right hand side, right? Cancel or submit button
Okay.
or like
Okay.
how do we place like certain location like instead of
Okay.
starting the
Yeah. So for that one, we have a concept called cell format. We have something called cell format. So in this one, we can mention the alignment also. So by default, like it follows its own style. The framework follows its own style. But if we want to change the behavior of it, we have to use this particular one, cell format. So in this one, you have an option to align appropriately, maybe center, left align, the right align. We can do that particular action. Okay, I'll show you maybe if possible. I'll show you. So in this case, like here it is showing two regions, right? Like one is the double column layout, and other one is the message comp layout. Okay, so this is one of the preferred method. You may be finding out the requirements also. This is one of the very preferred method because later on, if any columns are changes, any rows are changed, it doesn't need to change anything. Simply change the number of rows and columns there. It will automatically take care of it. The layout will take care of it automatically. That's one of the good behavior of this layout. Okay, and one more thing here, while converting the region styles from one region to another region style, so there are chances that you may lose your data. So you make sure that, like let us say now, just now we have converted from the double column layout to message column layout, right? While changing the region styles, there are chances that you may lose your data. So better have a copy and then do it accordingly. Okay. Fine. So I'll delete this double column layout.
Yeah.
I'll go with this header region. Yeah. Fine. And now, like we have developed this particular component as an independent region, right? But if you want to use this particular component in other pages, what is the thing you have to do? Is copy the region path, copy the region path. So now our region path is this information. So the name of your region is this one, the full qualified name, starting from your practice structure, XX IBM to the region. So now, if at all, if you want to use this region in any of the pages, what you have to do is you have to mention this particular path. So let's go to our student page. Let's go to our student page. And assume that we have a requirement to show our employment details on the top of the page. On the first, maybe consider that on the top region we want to show it. So what I will do is in the main region, I'll create a new region. So I'll move this region on the top. So just drag and drop. It says that whether you want to make it as a child or a sibling. It's a sibling because same level. Sibling means same level. Child is one level down to the parent. So this is our part. This is our new region. And in this region, if you observe, there's a property called extends. There's a property called extends. So you can mention any region path here. You can, whichever region you want to show it, you can mention that particular region path. Or you can click on this particular icon. You can click on this particular browse icon. So list down all the regions which are available. You can search all the regions, but one of the drawbacks of this particular extend property here is like when you search it, it will take minimum half an hour. It will take minimum half an hour and it will not allow you to close it also. So better not to click on search. So if you have the total region path, you simply mention the region path. But in the worst case, if you don't have it, then you have to search it. But make sure that at least you mention some kind of criteria here, the package structure or something, and click on search. It will give you the total information. So in our case, I will not go with the search because it will take minimum half an hour. So what I will do is I have full qualified name of my region. So this is our region now. Copy the region name and in the extend property just paste here and press enter. Just observe the behavior after pressing the enter. Observe the behavior in the structure after once I click on enter. Can you see here? Can you see here? But so whenever you see this kind of red color and grayed out fashion, it means that there is some particular shared region which is extended in your page. You can observe this way. There is some extended region in your page. This is one of the way where you can find out. Clear?
yes.
And now run the page and see the difference, how it looks like. right? You could see our employee details region on the top, right? So now by just looking on the page, you can't say that it's a shared region or not, isn't it? By just looking on the page, can you say it's a shared region or not? You have understood my question?
I think the screen is stuck. Now I can see the.
Oh, okay. So what is my question is?
Yeah.
By just
Now I can see the form.
yeah, by just seeing the page, can you say whether do you have any shared region in the page? By just
Yeah,
observing the page.
main region, the parent region is not correct, like not in
Sorry, what you say?
the current.
No, that may not be right. Like it's a naming convention. But there is one easier way. I'll show you. There is one easier way. You just assume that. So, like when you're developing, when you're performing any customization or maybe extension, what we prefer is like when you perform a personalization on a region, we have to get the personalization content of your region. The information will be stored in your region, not in the page. The information will be stored according to your region. So, but anyways, now as per our requirement here, whether you want to know if you want to know whether this particular page is having shared region or not, maybe the one basic thing what we do is you'll click on about this page. You'll click on about this page. And click on expand all. So can you see here like either employee details or employee CEO or something. But having a CEO as well as AM doesn't mean it's a shared region, isn't it? Agree? Having a CEO as well as AM doesn't mean it's a shared region. Even the page itself can have a number of controllers. Every region you can have a controller. So from this information we cannot assume that it is having a shared region. Okay, so this is a flaw now. So what is the other way? So go back again, go back. So just try here, click on personalize page, click on personalize page here. On the top I click on personalize page. And can you see the document name? Right? This is the document name which it is showing here. I'll make a note. Go back again. And now on this region I'll click on personalize now. On this region also I'll click on personalize. Can you see mouse over on this one? Can you see mouse over? Sorry. Are you able to see the region name?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe you can click on personalize link there. Now can you see what is the document name it is showing? It is not showing a page name. It is not showing a page name. It is showing the region name. So now by this itself I can say it's shared region. This itself I can say it's a shared region. It is showing some region name which is a different one. So I can say it's a shared region. Okay. Got it? And maybe you can try again. You can try again with another region. Let's say that on the student table region, I click on personalize. On this table, I click on personalize. And just see what it will show. What it will show. What it is showing here? What is the document name? It's showing a page name, right? It's showing a page name. So that is the difference. So from this itself, we can say, from this we can find out some information about your table region as well as your shared region as well as your normal stuff. And one more thing. Now, if you are trying to deploy this particular student page, the employee details page, the employee detail region which you have, you also need to deploy that particular region also. Else it will not work. If you are trying to deploy the student page to the server, we also require to deploy the shared region also. So how do you deploy the shared region? The same thing. We'll also deploy our shared region is the same thing. That is why I told you like when in the MDS layer you'll find out the regions as well as pages, both the things. You'll find out the regions as well as pages. So now if you want to deploy our shared region, what you have to do? Very simple. So this is our region name now. Same thing, no difference in the syntax. Same process. Put copy the command prompt and run this one. Got it? And now this is getting deployed as a region name, right? XS, IBM, Oracle Labs, something like that. Maybe you can find out from the server what is the information. Okay, so it is showing the list of it seems that the same particular file name is deployed 4 times. But these two things are the seeded one, and the remaining 2 things are the custom one, because the created file is internal for them, right? On 13th February, one got deployed, and today, 20th of February, there is one more thing which got deployed. So copy this one, right? Okay. So this is how we can deploy the pages as well as regions to the instance. Fine. Okay. So what I will do is I'll stop here, and yeah. Okay. Just try deployment, and bouncing as of now, don't worry, because you can try, but you'll have only scripts. The only thing is bouncing. You just need to stop and start the server. That is the only thing. You just have 2-3 scripts. That is what you have to do. Okay. Yeah. Okay, Sharad. Okay, Ravi. Bye.
Yep. Thanks.
Yeah.